Hello and welcome everyone to a Sacred Symbols reading this Saturday, March 19th, 2022. I'm so glad you could join me, and I'll just say that I already did a blessing, opened the circle, and made an offering to all of the ancestors. So I'm going to dive right in and just ask you to take a few breaths with me so that we create an alignment and a centering and a grounding together. And then I'm going to have you blow into the basket along with me. Excuse me. So closing your eyes wherever you might be, being in a relaxed and comfortable place, I hope, and allowing your body to just sink into the cushion or the chair that you're on. And if you can, take a couple of deep breaths in through the nose and exhale through the mouth, relaxing the jaw, the throat, the neck, and the shoulders, allowing the body to sink even deeper into the cushion. And then feeling this beautiful divine white light coming down from the heavens and anchoring you deep into the earth, all the way down to the center of the earth. Feel that connection to the divine feminine, to her iron molten core that activates the iron in your blood, the hemoglobin. Feel that connection, that anchoring, allowing us to expand and the energy then to rise up naturally, activating all of the chakras so that all of our chakras are open, fully functioning, front and back, balanced and aligned. And then literally feeling each chakra activated: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, and again white, spilling over the top of your head, through your central channel, through this toroidal field of energy. And then another breath just to feel the emotional frequencies of those chakras in the form of joy, peace, strength, courage, gratitude, humility, and divine wisdom, and divine love. Divine wisdom and divine love. For love is wise, isn't it? And just feel that when the heart opens, the wisdom just naturally flows through us. We are in alignment. We are grounded and expanded. And now we have this beautiful rainbow light flowing through our toroidal field, expanding through the heart field, activating this heart coherence with our brain and our gut. And then imagine a beautiful, brilliant, golden pyramid high above your head in the realms of the angelics, the ascended masters, and feel that golden thread of light flowing like a river, coming down again through your central channel all the way down to the earth. And as it flows down, it too now expands into this rainbow field of health and vitality and activates the masculine and feminine within us, the light and dark, the positive and the negative of this electromagnetic field that we reside in. We are electromagnetic, or we at least function in an electromagnetic field of energy. So now feeling that atomic activation within you, that cosmic life force expanding out into the universe, flowing into an even greater field, into the superconscious. We're just inviting that element in our superconscious awareness. So from that place of divine wisdom, infinite and eternal energy that we truly are, our star nations, connecting with our star nations, the star light, the star dust that we are, that came to Earth actually and created this iron, this element of iron that then created this alchemy of single cell plants or creatures that allow us to breathe oxygen, right? That birthed the production of chlorophyll in plants, which keep us alive. So, with that said, feel your heart center opening. And now take a moment or a breath to connect with an intention so that you can embody the I am presence, the I for the intention, the A for attention. Direct your attention. You're going to direct your attention into the basket. And then M for movement or motion. Putting this creative thought into motion into the basket to activate the relationship between these pieces to bring forth a message for guidance and wisdom today. So, a deep breath and then 3 breaths into the basket with your intention. Okay. Well, had a piece fly off again, just like last week. A different piece, but very interesting. I'm always curious about what it was, and today it was a timekeeper, and I'll put it in the corner here. And then I'm going to tip the screen down so you can see. Here, bear with me a moment. I am going to make a full screen. I don't have the full screen on. And let me do that, full screen. And then it should be a better view here for you. And let's bring this into focus as best I can. Get a little bit of the computer in there. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So, I hope this lighting is good enough. I didn't bring an extra light in today, but let's see what we can see here. This is really fascinating. This piece here, closest to you, where you would be sitting if you were here in person with me, is the shaman. So how I look at that is, at the most elemental aspects, it is you, the shaman, being your own medicine, right? And it's right there in front of you. And the piece that flew off the board is, like I said, a timekeeper. I've got 2, and I like to see where the other one is in relationship to it. So there's something about time, maybe thinking outside of time, beyond time, or just not to get too hung up about time, and to focus more on the present. That's kind of what I'm getting. And here's the other one. It's actually in a very interesting place. Here is water, the element of water. here is fork in the road, and here's the second timekeeper. And they're both facing up, so that's kind of interesting. It's like that represents, to me, not a lot of movement. It's not like something's moving quickly. I know that we have more momentum going astrologically right now, but there's something about this medicine or this wisdom of the shaman or of the healing process that we're in, that's saying to really just pay attention to this idea of time, and that the most important time is the present, right? We really don't know how much time we have coming into the future. All we know is that we are here now and we are receiving, and that is the best place to have our focus, right? So, with that said, though, this is a very fascinating configuration. I mean, with water right on top, here's the inquiry. Whatever you asked, here it is, and we have water on the top, almost like coming out of our hands. Or if we were reaching up and asking for spirit or for guidance or for God to say, please, bring this information, bring this guidance and wisdom here. And we are being receptive and receiving. What's flowing into this aspect of receptivity is a couple of things. The earth, to really focus on the earth. What can we do to be of the earth, to be grounded into the earth, to respect and have humility for all that the earth gives us? And then be aware of our emotions, of the water. Also, the purity of the water. How can we possibly connect with the water within us? Because here's the hand. So that's something also about physical, maybe drinking more water, or being somewhere where you can listen to the water and see what the water might have to tell you. I think there's something really powerful in that. I love sitting by a stream or a brook and just listening, or by a waterfall, and then you listen, and it's amazing. Like the water will talk to you, and you can receive messages from the element water itself. So there's something about allowing in, being receptive to the element of water or the emotions. And here is your work right next to your grandmother on your mother's side and your grandfather on your mother's side. In fact, this is fascinating. We have grandmother, grandfather, all the greats, and a young one on your mother's side. So it's very interesting. And here's the youngest one, like a child, and then in your maternal lineage. And they're sitting right next to this little red piece of coral, which is all about the first chakra. So, just as we were saying, like the earth, or finding the medicine within, the water element within and without, this is something that's really being amplified right now. Our maternal lineage. So grandmother, grandfather, great, 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 greats, right? Young and young adults. It's very interesting. They seem to be just around this area. They are bringing in some medicine. This is dragon's blood, for purification, detoxification. And let's see, and where are you? Here you are. This is fascinating. Okay, so we've got this beautiful, quite a bit coming out. If we were saying, out of the hands, out of the top of the head, the message is about really paying attention to the sacred, or what is it that we declare to be sacred and divine in our life. And this fork in the road around the timing is, here we have Eagle Condor looking in towards this whole configuration. And it's saying here too, here's Deer Toe, which is all about innocence, right? Tapping into your innocence, this aspect of the self that is childlike, and not meaning like a child to be like a child, but we can be in innocence all the time if we choose to be. It's about just dropping the agenda, right? And having this sense of awe and awareness. In fact, Spirit here is saying this piece is all about uh, this ceremony, like making things a ceremony. And a ceremony within, this is the inside of it, of the shell itself, saying, from within, create the divine and sacred from within. And in so doing, everything that you create externally will then be coming from this place of the sacred and divine. And to me, this fork in the road is in a fascinating place today, too, not only because of that message, but also because we have talking stick. And we also have, though, the ancient ones, but this fork in the road, this bone that represents fork in the road, somewhere, it's like we've come to a fork in the road. And which fork are we choosing? In fact, I hope you can kind of see this because it's really fascinating to me. Here is the V of the inquiry, the intention, and then here is a V in the complete opposite. So it's like, here it is, sometimes here in this, and it's related to the timekeeper right at the center. At this point in time, what is it that needs attention, that needs maybe a shift in, well, or definitely a choice? What is it that we're making a choice here at the fork in the road? And that tells us everything. In fact, what's really beautiful about this collection here is not only do we have the ancient ones, the women, the maternal ancient ancestors, but if you can see this, I hope it's the key. They are key. Tapping into the ancient maternal lineage is key to this guidance or knowing, this deeper or greater wisdom perspective. It will help give this greater perspective of reality, of what is really real. What is real here on the planet? Not what we've made up, not what we've been conditioned to believe. This is our true soul's work. I believe this is what the grandmother is saying here. The work. What is the real work in the world that brings us to an evolutionary fork in the road? And the key is to really tap into the ancient ones. They've got the wisdom. And also this idea of ceremony and the sacred. We have bear, throat chakra, and our power animals. Call in your power animals today. Yeah, really bring them in. Because I believe this movement or momentum, you could look at it either way. If this is coming out here toward you and it's saying, here's what's unfolding through this inquiry that you have today, it's about really honoring the sacred. And here's Pachamama. Pachamama and the other. Treat the other as if they were family. They were connected. We're all part of the human family. And we've got Mercury and Mars. So a lot of energy, the idea about wanting to move forward or some kind of active energy and communicating that, because this is what will sustain us, right? So whatever you're feeling and experiencing here in this idea of the emotions, feeling the sacredness of the moment in this fork in the road that we're finding ourselves, and really knowing that depending on which fork we take, this will definitely reflect to us what is, what the next action, what is the aligned action. Once you make that choice, what is the aligned action? And what we must do is speak it. And we all know that, right? From the power of frequency, the power of vibration. It's the power of the word is what created. right? In fact, here, this is mirroring that idea of what is not yet created. And what is beautiful about what's at the center here today is community. Tap into community, tap into your third chakra and your heart chakra. Really find that sacred and divine union with the self. And oh, this is so beautiful. Here is this bone here is about your mother, the mother, your mother. Whether she's alive or she's transitioned, there's something about just looking at the structure, the blueprint, what came through, what was the gift, maybe focusing on the gift of what your mother brought in speaking her truth. Who was she truly in her heart? This is the blueprint, something that you received coming into earth form, human form, through this connection you have with your mother. Now, I realize, it may not all have been great or rosy for some of us, but this is something about maybe looking beyond, this is Eagle Condor, looking beyond that. But for some reason, your soul chose to come in at this time, chose this mother that you came through her body. And then there is some truth. What is the truth of that, of this divine union? This divine union that was created. Now, that could be huge work in itself for some of us, or at certain points in our life, to find that piece of relationship with our mother. And obviously, many are not having that kind of relationship right now on the planet Earth. If we look at the Earth as our mother, we must take care of her, right? And we've not done such a great job. So there is something kind of cloudy here, or foggy. This is Neptune. And I know we just had some big Neptune influences, so you may have been feeling like, okay, I want to move forward. I know there's something I need to do, and I know there's ancestral healing, but it just feels like a fog. So what's interesting about that, I'm getting chills just as I start to focus on it, is here's the mind, right? And here's the third eye. It's about go within. And you know what? Then sometimes some of the greatest understandings that we find or that we tap into is that we make it up, right? There's nobody here to tell us. This is being your own medicine, right? At some point, you've got to make it up or understand for yourself what this greater outcome is to be, or what you are going to make of it in the future. And what's fascinating to me about this then is at the base of the inquiry, then all of a sudden we have all of the father, these blue tipped bones are the father's lineage, right? The paternal lineage. You have your paternal grandmother sitting next to this crystal that represents clarity of mind and also the third eye, right? Or I'm sorry, the crown chakra, not the third eye. So crown chakra. So this beautiful violet piece of stone here is about crown chakra. Here's Pluto. I think this is where we are really getting blasted with this this light right now. Obviously, we're going through the photon belt. We are being bombarded with new levels and new frequencies of light and energy. And there's no way to avoid it. You could, you could easily go through your days and feel like you're not affected by what's going on, but there's something much bigger. And it's all about kind of an evolution or a revolution back to honoring the divine feminine. And this is how it's happening. It's happening through affecting us in our DNA. Through our DNA is transfiguring, transforming, and this is Uranus. Pow, right? Something sudden and unexpected. So like I said, we could just be moving along here thinking, okay, I got everything all figured out in my life here. It's great. And then pow, something will just happen. I mean, this happened to me on one level a couple of weeks ago as I shared a couple of readings back that I went for an evening walk with my beautiful, sweet neighbor. And then 2 hours later, she was in an ambulance and never came home. And she transitioned from a ruptured aorta. So, do we know when our last breath is? Do we really know? Maybe some of us do. But sudden and unexpected. And this great mystery, the spiral of life that we are on, it's like we're having a soul retrieval or a soul remembering right now. I would say it's like a collective soul retrieval, a collective soul remembering, if you so choose to. And a part of that is to ground yourself also into the masculine, right? Here's the feminine and the masculine, the grandmothers, right? Leading us towards the stars, back to the stars where we're all headed, right? Ultimately, all headed back. And this is where we can feel the most abundance, right? In our star nations, our star family, right? The place from where we came. Yeah, here's the transcended, the ascended masters. And this idea of here you are, the sun right at your head, the six, it's kind of like a completion or an alignment. I see a six as. I know some of you probably have way more numerology information within you and have at it with that, but this is kind of how I see it. Here in my pieces is the six is about an alignment or of things coming, of things coming together, creating these two pillars. This is how I see them. This is like the triangles, the three, the creative life force here. Again, the sacred, the divine and sacred, the trinities lining up 1, 2, 3, but also creating these two pillars. Right, for us, this new foundation, I think, is what all this sun energy, the DNA shifting and changing, is bringing in something new, right? Creating new foundations for all that is falling away at this time. And then this is fascinating. We've got rebirth and transfiguration paralleling each other. That is fascinating. I think, I'm sure many of us, I know I am, it feels like a big whammy. I mean, it's really mirroring this idea of the fork in the road. This is really happening. There is something huge changing planetarily, cosmically, and it's amazing to be here at this time. Here's the great grandparents and a young one on the paternal lineage. Just, so really reflecting, just seeing where this masculine, this divine masculine is taking us as it moves towards this huge transition. I feel like, in fact, that is what really has to change. That is what is ultimately falling apart. Kind of the structures, the masculine. And then it's really being amplified. What's being amplified right now is this energy of the Father. So just as I said, to take a look and reflect about Mother and the truth, the speaking of your own truth, or seeing where your mother may have been an expression of truth. Because here's some creative energy around this vision you might have and wanting to bring something into form. Here we have the Father. And on top of the Father is our little friend, Frog, who is, the frog, he's upside down. So taking a new perspective, a new look at what's being amplified around you right now, these cosmic forces. And, the frog is an amphibian, right? It can breathe in the water or on the land. And so notice that about this masculine energy within you. Can you take a deep breath and go and take a dive into the emotions, into the watery aspects of yourself, knowing you're safe, knowing you can breathe. And then when you come back to surface, right, where are we moving towards? We're returning to a place where we have a passion again, right? Activating passion. Here's the ancient ancestors, the women, the men, I'm sorry, the women on your father's side, the paternal ancient ones. And what's beautiful is what this little gecko or little reptile, he represents, this transformation that is at hand. And we have we have Venus here. So what is it that you truly love? What do you value? Look at your values as you're doing some of this reflection. Take time this week to take a little bit of reflective time. The abalone is all about reflecting, going within, and then noticing, what is it? What do you feel passionate about? This is about passion. And this I was going to point out earlier too, when I talked about the key, being close at hand to this fork in the road. Here's the lock, which is beautiful. It's next to what is not yet created, and it has really nothing on top of it, nothing really directly impacting its location here, its relationship to things. So it's like, I would say the green light is on. There's nothing you can't dive into. Whatever it is you're feeling a need to transform, transcend, transfigure, or to feel a sense of rebirth around, it's there for the taking. It is wide open. So I say dive in and explore what it is you're really passionate about. What is your own truth? What do you want to express? And which road are you traveling? Which road will you choose as you explore this transfiguration or this process of transformation that is here unfolding before us? And really tap into your creativity, because here is the vision. Here is the body, open and receptive. Stay open and receptive. And this little heart-shaped dagger, this is beautiful. So it's like, let the creative life force, you being the predominant creator of your life, allow that to cut through whatever it takes, right? To make your way towards community and connection that will support you and ground you in this process of evolutionary change that we are all part of right now. No stone unturned. It's time. It's time to just dive in. Wow, that is beautiful. So, thank you so much. That was absolutely gorgeous reading today. Thank you for joining me. Forgive my wobbly, my wobblies here. Oh, wow, that's so beautiful. And for any of those who have been following these YouTube readings, tomorrow I was so graciously asked to do a blessing for my dear friend Melissa's celebration of life that we are gathering in the neighborhood here to come together, and celebrate who she was in our lives. So with that said, may you have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next week. And I think I had a little insight the other day about I think I'm going to start offering a recode too, so you get a sense of more about the coaching work that I do with as a magnetic mind coach, working with the superconscious and being the predominant creator in your life, helping people. This work is about helping people express their true nature and purpose. And so I'm going to begin sharing that on YouTube too. And because I do have a meetup that I share that on twice a month with Soma Soul Tribe. which is based out of Portland. But I'd like to expand that a little bit out into the world of YouTube, and I'm working on, marketing and getting things out there more in the world so that I can share these gifts that I feel are so important right now as we all go through this transition, because I know we have another couple of years really to go, probably until 2024 astrologically, will we start to come into a trine rather than these oppositions that we had. So fasten your seatbelts, ground yourself, and I hope you have gained some words of wisdom and some inspiration that will guide you through this next week. So again, if you're following along, you can close your eyes, and I'm going to just close the circle with gratitude and appreciation for all that came through and all that will be expressed and shared through my being and yours too. Aho. And forgive me if you can't hear the rattling. I keep trying to take the noise cancellation off, but it seems to be just pops on whenever it feels like it. But hopefully you can hear it. And again, thank you so much for joining me. Have a blessed weekend.